let's first do things first. There are things which cannot wait. If we do not have security, now you go to your cousins in Congo. What can they do? They can't do this, they can't do that, because there is no security. No security. You see them here, you know. Actually, you are the one who should be telling the whole country that, please, be careful. First things first. So for us, we say security.
Nabakityo President Kaguta Museveni wamu n'abakulembeze abalala.
The 3 days presidential wealth creation visit to Rwenzori sub-region has ended with a public address by the head of state at Nyakasanga grounds in Kasese district. Now addressing the region, President Museveni emphasized the need for the area to embrace wealth creation, support his idea of free education for all and a proper usage of land. Museveni will this Thursday take the wealth creation tour to Toro sub-region, where he will spend 4 days. Now, we're still working on this particular story. Do not miss it later in our bulletin. Now, in more news this evening, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has commended women clergy for standing firm and taking part in church leadership. The First Lady said it required serious advocacy to enable women to participate in a previously male-dominated area. The First Lady made the remarks at the opening of a week-long Church of Uganda all-women clergy conference at Chebambe Girls Secondary School in Fort Portal City, Kabarole District.
Over 400 Anglican female clergy from across the country have gathered at Chebambe Girls Secondary School in Fort Portal City for the week-long conference. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, who was the chief guest, commended the women clergy for standing firm in taking part in church leadership.
Today, each one of you stands on the shoulders of the gender-sensitive clergy who, against all odds, made the bold choice to challenge the status quo of a male-dominated clergy and advocated for the need to have women clergy in the church.
Janet Museveni encouraged the women clergy to use their positions to inspire transformation for future leaders.
As you walk in the footsteps, may you continue their footsteps. May you continue good work that they began by working together to empower other women to embrace leadership in their various spheres of influence. Indeed, do not cast away your confidence, but prayerfully and in humility seek God's guidance to address those systemic barriers that limit women's participation in leadership. Work together to mentor the young generation of women in your communities to live up to their full potential in Christ, wherever God has positioned them to live.
She contributed 50 million shillings in cash towards the construction of the Church of Uganda Clergy Women's Center and Girls Skills Development as she officially launched the program. The Bishop of Rwenzori Diocese, Ruben Chisembo, and the chairperson of the female clergy, Professor Olivia Banja, lauded the First Lady for her role as Minister for Education and for empowering women to take up leadership roles in various sectors.
Gratitude. We thank the NRM government for all the socio-economic and infrastructure development initiative in many parts of our nation. We thank the NRM government for elevating the status of women in this country by giving them high-profile jobs plus other roles and creating a conducive environment for us all to develop our
years. Women have been involved in ministry as lay person and clergy. Now, most of all in 1920, the Balokole revival movement that ushered in the era of women involvement in church ministry as lay evangelists. It is upon this background that the pioneer women in ministry, like Florence Njangali from Bunyoro Kitara Diocese, joined ministry after hearing the gospel being preached by the Revival Brethren in 1938.
The woman member of parliament for Kabarore district, Victoria Rusoke, and the state minister for health, Margaret Muhanga, urged the women clergy to go beyond preaching the word of God and to engage in income-generating activities.
Be the glory.
The conference is being held under the theme, "Do not throw away your confidence." I'm Navka Farida and Agota Philip.
Diocese.
President Museveni, represented by Vice President Jessica Lupo, raised concern of rising road deaths despite heavy investments in the infrastructure, urging greater public awareness. Now, at the Road Safety Conference in Munyonyo, officials blamed border indiscipline and called for more funding, aligning with the 8th UN Road Safety Week efforts. We have the details.
This is Rwenzori Presidential Zonal Skilling Hub. Situated in Mubuku Town Council, Kasese District, the hub has attracted learners from Kasese and its neighborhoods. Besides an increase in enrollment, Mubuku Hub witnessed a change in mindsets from both beneficiaries and communities towards skilling.
Here, I didn't only earn the skills, I earned the confidence because the mindset team would make us go in front and speak. So, muna isangana ebindu byerekole juice ebe kaite sibawa eribi bikakebera irutu kwa ulaya abantu instead ebuka pekingai.
To accompany the president at the inauguration of this hub has been the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taibwa, Ministers Dr. Chris Pariomusi, General Mbasu Mbadi, Martin Mugaru, Fred Biamukama, among others.
Alive in the big numbers, because the president initiated programs to make sure that children survive and grow into adulthood. And that's why we have many young people. We thank you, Your Excellency. You've been commenting on universal primary education, which you began, but along the way, some mistakes have been made to start charging fees to the young people, and then many of them are dropping out of school.
Is that they've been given a second chance. They've been given a second chance, and most of them are taking advantage of it. The young man here said he's now employing 5 other people. Now, these can be job creators. And I think we must apologize for not having given you other support as leaders.
Just like he has indicated wherever he has gone, Museveni blames the continued school dropouts to introduction of school charges in government institutions.
Yes, my father had paid for me because he had cows. But so many children who were with me in the primary school dropped out because they didn't have cows like my father. From our primary school now, the only people whom you have heard of are people like me, Kategaya. There were 2 others who became Makerere there. But in the school were like 400 children, but they all disappeared. Therefore, I said, please, this is a type of murder. When people are not educated, it is like you are killing them. So that's why that time we said, we have got a lot of things to do, but can we please educate our children in the government schools for free? But people don't easily agree.
Museveni appreciates that indeed the world is moving away from education of acquiring knowledge and accolades, but rather embracing skills and expertise.
And the second one is the skills of the hand and the head, the skills compared to just general knowledge. Now, Africa was colonized. We had very complicated society here. We had kings, we had magicians, we had singers, We had all those people, but we lacked science and technology.
Beitu echa twabya tubulirweko twabya tubulirweko ebyakale magezi.
So that's why recently I was telling you, please pay attention to science people first.
Rwenzori Zonal Presidential Industrial Hub is among the 19 presidential skilling zonal centers being run by State House and all over the country. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Well, thank you, Robert Onyango, who is in Kasese district, where the president did reiterate the need to embrace skills, training and offering support to the science and technology sectors, since in the nearby future, the above will dictate life. The president also made these remarks while officiating the inauguration of Rwenzori Zonal Presidential Industrial Hub in Kasese district. Now, President Museveni, who was represented by the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, raised concerns over the rising road deaths despite heavy investments in the infrastructure, urging greater public awareness. Now, at the Road Safety Conference in Munyonyo, officials blamed boda-bodas indiscipline and called for more funding, aligning with the 8th UN Road Safety Week efforts. We have more.
The two-day Road Safety Conference 2025 happened at Speak Resort Munyonyo under the theme Road Safety for Socio-Economic Transformation. The Vice President, Lieutenant Major Jessica Alupo, represented President Museveni at the opening ceremony. President Museveni has expressed concern regarding the increasing road accidents and deaths on roads, despite NRM's increased investment on roads infrastructure development in the country, where 14 people are reportedly dying daily.
I am here to extend to you the message from His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. When the NRM government captured power in 1986, Uganda's road network was in despair, with only 1,200 kilometers of paved roads and a total classified network of about 6,800 kilometers. The classified road network is now 159,364 kilometers. It is sad to note that with increased accessibility, the road accidents have increased, resulting in loss of lives and injuries.
The president urged stakeholders, including private sector and religious leaders, to increase sensitization and awareness efforts on road safety. The Works and Transport Minister, General Katumba Wamala, decried the road indiscipline and accidents caused by boda riders.
Still many challenges, and the most in the house is the bodas. The bodas. Somebody was saying that a necessary evil.
Fred Tumwine and Richard Baguma, the co-organizers under the Road Safety Coalition Uganda, RASCO, called for more funding to the road safety cause in Uganda. The conference is part of the 8th UN Road Safety Week, which started on 12th May, ending on 18th May. I'm Bantu Machabese Mambo.
The Attorney General, Chiriowa Chwanuka, has defended the need to establish the court-martial, including the General Court-Martial. Chwanuka told the MPs scrutinizing the Uganda People's Defence Forces Amendment Bill 2025 that the jurisdictions embedded in the court completes the sequence. The MPs further questioned why the civilian courts are not empowered to carry out the similar intentions of establishing the court-martial. Now, members from the legal team of the UPDF also appeared to present the bill. We have more.
Clause 38 on page 54 introduces section 195 to establish the General Court-Martial.
Away from the wide range of the intentions to establish the court-martial, A school of thought believed that the interest is to trap the opposition, especially civilians.
Section 117D on page 46 prescribes specific offenses that bring a person who aids and abets under the jurisdiction of the court-martial, and also introduces the element of conspiration.
As the scrutiny of the UPDF Amendment Bill 2025 starts, questions surrounding the worries of the section of the public dominated the engagement of the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Parliamentary Affairs and the Defense and Internal Affairs, chaired by Stephen Baka Mugabe.
I would like to speak with my head, but also with my heart. In conversations like this, sometimes we use our hearts, become emotional, and we forget the common sense.
What would differentiate the attires of the military would be the symbols, the emblems that differentiate. There is no way you can tell me that a boot, a black boot, or any other clothing that does not have a symbol should be attached and gazetted to be a uniform of the military.
Attorney General Chiwa Chiwanuka reminded the MPs of the recent Supreme Court ruling, especially on the matter of civilians.
Further, 6 justices noted that for a civilian to be tried in the courts-martial, there needs to be in place clear exceptional circumstances.
And what are the exceptional circumstances pinning civilians?
Where a person is found in unlawful possession of arms, ammunition, equipment ordinarily being the monopoly of the defense forces prescribed in Schedule 7A of the Act, and classified stores in Schedule B of the Act.
But what differentiates the exceptional circumstances from the question which the Supreme Court answered?
Which I will also attempt to answer. The question was, is it lawful? Is it legal? Is it constitutional to try a civilian in the military justice system or military court?
So, but that's a conversation that what I need to state as a matter of law, the decision on the jurisdiction to be granted to any tribunal or court vests with the Parliament.
The loggerhead furthered as the Attorney General's response was found unsatisfactory.
I have not seen these amendments speak to the fact that the civilian courts are inadequate in trying these matters, and therefore the warranty being taken to the court-martial. These amendments are not stripping over that fact and are not introducing anything new to warranty exceptional circumstances.
But now you're saying they should. Why don't we look at strongly empowering these courts? Because, Mr. Chair, the bill is extremely beautiful. And if this bill was speaking to a young girl, the girl would only accept to go for marriage. But there is that hiccup that we need this legal mind. How do you justify? But we still have these courts. Are we now disempowering the civilian courts?
The UPDF Amendment Bill 2025 seeks to establish court-martial units, divisional court-martial, and the general court-martial accordingly. The bill also seeks to transfer some powers under the CDF to the Deputy CDF, including inspecting the forces. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Thank you, Daniel Mugoya and Gloria Guitabinji. In more news this evening, Uganda People's Congress Party President Jimmy Akena has re-echoed his assurance to fight for democracy, which he says is being undermined. Akena says he is determined to face what he describes as the fire of the 2026 general election amidst what he calls restrictions, corruption and greed. He was addressing the media at the party offices.
As the country prepares for the 2026 general elections, political parties are outlining their visions, giving Ugandans a choice on who can steer the nation forward. Uganda People's Congress Party President Jimmy Akena has reiterated his commitment to contest for the presidency in 2026, promising to defend democracy, which he says is under threat.
I am seeking the UPC flag to contest for the president of Uganda come 2026. Strategy is on and change is coming. I will play my role in the change. I expect others also to play their role. But definitely we're going to change Uganda. Uganda was formed by leaders who came together. Go back to the 60s. There were leaders from every region who came together and formed and set the foundation on the Uganda which we stand on.
Akena says he's ready to face what he describes as the fire of the upcoming election, marked by increasing restrictions, corruption and greed. While addressing journalists at the party headquarters, Akena criticized the ruling party for allegedly disregarding established democratic structures and instead introducing parallel groups under the same political umbrella.
On every step of the way, but we are determined to try to make a difference. You're going to get people interfering. On election day, when I see these RDCs and now you have these assistant RDCs, for me there are just two groups of them. One is either going to rig, the other one is coming from rigging. That's all they're there for. The assistant RDC, they're doing mobilization, they're doing politics. They're now planning how to rig, and you find them, they're either going to rig or they're from rigging. But you don't give them the room. When they get out of their house, you're going to be on them tooth and nail up to the end of the day.
He vowed to end what he termed as the confusion and manipulation of democratic institutions.
But it should be an election whereby we should be able to go and trust the systems that are in place. But we have killed systems in Uganda. Even the political parties and institutions, we try to build them through IPOD. They have been undermined, and now they try to throw something which is a shadow of what we envisage as political parties which can help Uganda. So each election is different, but this election, I believe this is a time where we can put a stop to some of this madness. And I'm determined to see that that is done.
Akena further reminded Ugandans that the foundation of the country was built through dialogue among visionary leaders, an approach, he says, has now been ignored by the current leadership. On the proposed amendments to the UPDF Act, Akena expressed concern, saying the timing reflects the NRM's intention to dominate all state processes, including Parliament. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
The National Identification and Registration Authority has announced that the worldwide mass registration and renewal of the national identification cards will commence on the 27th of May 2025. Now, while speaking to the media, the Executive Director, NIRA, Rosemary Kisembo, added that the exercise is expected to last between 6 to 10 months, emphasizing maximum participation.
The National Identification and Registration Authority's mass registration and renewal exercise comes at a time when national IDs are either expired or about to expire. Each of Uganda's 10,595 parishes will be equipped with kits from the district, with a minimum of 10 registration kits, making parishes the heart of operations during the exercise.
Of 15.8 million cards that are expiring in June 2025. It is important to note that they may have already expired. Mass enrollment and renewal exercise is set to start on 27th May 2025. Zone A, registration and enrollment of vulnerable and special groups, specifically children 5 years and below and pregnant women. Zone B, registration and enrollment of unregistered. Zone B1 will be for the pre-registered. This time we have an online presence. So if you pre-register, you will go to Zone B1 just for the capture of biometrics.
The Executive Director, NIRA, Rosemary Kisembo, says the exercise is expected to last between 6 to 10 months, emphasizing maximum participation. She says a special committee will be stationed at the district level to handle any citizenship-related disputes or queries that may arise during the process.
We have empowered our registration assistants to register that person, but tell us that this person's citizenship is in doubt.
Chisembo explains that the new national IDs will come with enhanced features, including a multi-laser image for increased security.
New thing is we have a QR code for online authentication, meaning when you read the QR code, it will give a link that will lead you to your information, but you will be required to consent or give a biometric.
However, while registration and renewal will be free of charge, any changes to personal particulars will incur a fee.
On one day, you will pay 200,000. But if you come today and say, I'm changing the name, 200. Tomorrow, oh, I've forgotten even the date of birth, and it happens. I'm changing that one. 200.
National Identification and Registration Authority leadership is urging all Ugandans to participate and remind each other with a phrase, you have a name, do you have a NIN? Cayenne Faith, Mike Bakablindi for UBC.
And with that, UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we'll return with more stories after these messages.
Big think about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairompia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona. MTN kabo de super mustairompia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply. MTN. MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Sam anazanya roto ganyiga star 278 then hash ujja kubanga oyingide mu kazannyo nga sente zino zimula wano zina wangu zino wano milioni 10 ebintu wana soka bila ku TV nange sasoka kikiriza ninga mulaye kino kinzo kubanga kituufu oba yaddala tibya bufere sente zino nazifunye zino nazikoze eki naziwangudde amasanyu ina mangi ebyoto byange byembadde njagala ngenda bitukiriza.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulator.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Hey, Mukasa, where are you going with the family? Oh no, we are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register. And I need to make sure my name is on it. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections. Okay? What about these young men? I can see you. These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote. Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife. So that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you on the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Welcome back from that break. We're glad you're still with us here on UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Yusuf Senyomo on sign language interpretation. Now in more news this evening, the government of Uganda has launched the National Strategic Communications Committee to adopt a more coordinated approach in engaging local and international media in a bid to counter negative publicity. We have the details.
Despite acknowledging the need to inform the public, the government admits that a lack of strategic national guidance for the media industry poses a risk to the country's image and development prospects.
Engaging media seems like it always must talk and beg you, please, we implore you to cover us. No. There is an element of regulation. That is why Mr. Watasa was saying that in certain countries, you never see certain things. It's not by mistake. There is regulation, and I know everywhere. I mean, I will give an example of Britain. These riots that happened, court sat at night to prosecute anyone who recorded a video or who posted something, some misinformation that would, propagate or perpetrate these riots. And people stopped.
This committee, under the Ministry of ICT and the Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development, aims to harmonize government communication and establish protocols for timely coordinated responses to media stories requiring official clarification.
That for us on the export side, we meet in boardrooms where we are looking for export deals. So you are speaking about Uganda being a good sourcing place, but their story is run by your own formal press, and you cannot really say, no, that's not us. It's a government newspaper, it's public channels. So the only thing you say is that we're a very democratic country. We allow everything. We don't restrict what's in our bedrooms. We're very free. We don't put barriers on what people should say or do. But deep in your heart, you know that that's a little bit of anarchy. If yes, you can justify freedom, but freedom beyond particular measure becomes anarchy, and nobody wants to buy from you or invest in your country.
Press freedom in Uganda is constitutionally guaranteed under the broader right to freedom of speech and expression, as enshrined in the 1995 Constitution. However, this right is not absolute. Article 43 permits certain limitations, including on press freedom in circumstances such as protecting public interest or the rights of others.
And with that, as a team, as this committee, we need to sit and agree on what are the low-hanging fruits that we need to start with to be impactful. What should we do in the medium term and in the long term as we look for the resources, because resources can never be enough. And communication is really capital intense, very capital intense. I didn't also appreciate that before, but now I do.
In this era of rapid digitization and the rising influence of artificial intelligence, the committee is tasked with developing a strategy that promotes a more positive, development-oriented media narrative, both locally and internationally, through greater collaboration and shared growth. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News, in Kampala.
Now on to our story of the day. President Museveni has launched the newly tarmacked roads in Kasese municipality with a call to local leaders to prioritize wealth creation initiatives other than chasing over political and salary rewards. The commissioned roads have been constructed at a tune of close to 50 billion shillings and funds secured under the World Bank project of Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development, USMID.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commissioned a shillings 54 billion road project in Kasese municipality. With its construction having commenced almost 3 years ago, these roads fall under the World Bank-led project of Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development, WUSMIT.
To me, I must say this is a very big milestone in the development of Kasese municipality. I must say this has transformed Kasese town from what it was to what it is now.
It has really changed the image of Kasese. It has changed the beauty of Kasese, and it has improved.
In Uganda, WUSMIT is directly supervised and implemented by the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
Previously, I can say Kasese has been very dusty. Kasese was dirty, but now what I sing as a song, that Kasese is one of the greenest towns in the country because of WUSMIT.
We have been seeing most of our green depreciating, all being depleted in urban areas. But you can see that Kasese is a model that has put in place the concept of greening. The green spaces are key.
As the president hands over these facilities to the locals, the facelift has been received by two hands.
Right now, the value of property has improved. The value of houses has gone up. Business has also, the volume of business has increased. If you were here last night, this street doesn't sleep now. It works 24 hours. And now there are other streets even outside town which don't sleep now.
Businesses are along these streets. You wonder where you are because people work from evening up to dawn because of this project. The lights are there, meaning that the night economy has also improved a lot because there is security of the workers, security of the communities themselves, which is what NRM government has been looking up to.
Although the Ministry of Lands is today handing over this project to the local communities, they are not taking away their hands and eyes.
As a municipality, maintaining asphalt concrete is not easy.
However, garbage collection and management, street maintenance and vandalism remain a great task at hand.
So we want them to maintain what government has put in place for them, but also to use the infrastructure development for their social wealth or well-being.
However, according to the president, although government has the capacity to construct more roads like these, pay good salaries for its workers, but prioritization is the NRM trademark.
Please, these roads will be done, but let's first do things first. There are things which cannot wait. If we do not have security, now you go to your cousins in Congo. What can they do? They can't do this, they can't do that, because there is no security. No security. You see them here, you know. Actually, you are the one who should be telling the whole country that please, be careful. First things first. So for us, we say,
it is on this backdrop that the NRM party now seeks for more trust and support from Ugandans in order to steer forward development and wealth.
The NRM, we are not political talkers. We say what we mean, and we mean what we say. The only problem I have with the different actors is the scattered thinking. They don't know that Kamukamu Gwechi.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The U.S. government, through U.S. aid mission in Uganda, have handed over a total of 48 digital chest X-rays, 2 thermal scanners and a consignment of personal protective equipment to the Ministry of Health. The equipment is to be handed over to 48 districts of Uganda in tuberculosis screening and other related body scans and diagnosis. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Cheng, says the donation is a great milestone in wiping out of TB by 2030, as this is to enhance surveillance, screening and treatment.
Uganda is on the World Health Organization's list of 30 high TB-burdened countries, with an estimated 94,000 people falling ill each year with tuberculosis. According to Assistant Commissioner, National TB and Leprosy Program, Dr. Stevia Toriahabwe, the country has made progress in TB detection over the past decade, but significant challenges remain in its efforts to end TB by 2030.
We see a lot of TB alongside lake shores in the fishing communities. This we think could be related to the high prevalence of HIV in these populations. You know, TB and HIV somehow move together. So part of these X-ray machines we have received is to help us in the people living with HIV. How can we make sure that we detect their TB early?
Receiving the portable digital X-ray equipment at Ministry of Health headquarters, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Cheng, expressed gratitude to the American people for the donation, saying this is a great stride in eradicating the disease.
This is to enhance our efforts to end TB by 2030. But the digital X-ray machines will not only support our efforts in TB, but also in many other respiratory diseases and any other conditions.
Acheng is optimistic that this donation is to boost the ongoing healthcare integration programs.
When you go to a facility, you should be screened for everything, depending on your history and your signs and symptoms, and look at a person holistically.
While handing over the equipment, the U.S. Ambassador in Uganda, His Excellency William Pope, says U.S. government will continue to support emergency healthcare services even when USAID mission exits Uganda.
We estimate, we hope that over 500,000 people can be screened just in the coming year with these donated equipment kits. It's an example of the work that we're continuing to do in the health space and the public health effort with the Ministry of Uganda and with local partners.
Over more than 60 years, our partnership has improved the lives of countless Ugandans. Together, we have built stronger health systems. We have reduced disease burden and bolstered Uganda's ability to respond to outbreaks.
Since 2000, under the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, the United States government has contributed to saving an estimated 74 million lives globally. I'm Nafka Farida and Setumba Douglas.
Top executives from Uganda's public and private sectors converged at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel for the third edition of the C-Suite Forum, hosted by the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, held under the theme, Driving Transformative Change in Unprecedented Times. The forum provided a strategic platform for leaders to explore the shifting landscape of corporate governance, financial leadership, and economic transformation.
A key highlight of the 2025 edition was the elevation of the Chief Financial Officer as a vital pillar in executive leadership, working alongside the CEO and board chair. The president of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, CPA, Ronald Mutumba, underscored the importance of a continuous professional development, staff welfare, and organizational cultural reform as drivers of sustainable growth.
If you want to see whether an organization is performing, just look at the culture within the organization. If the employees are happy, it means that there is a receptive culture. It means that you have got engaged employees. And once your employees are engaged, then that means most probably also a culture of performance. Then you will have an organization that performs.
Professor Samuel Sejaka, CEO of the Matt Abacus Business School, called for a new governance model, stressing that CEOs need CFOs as strategic partners to align financial insight.
There are quite a number of influential elements
driving change. So how do you look at these aspects of transformative change and bring about change in your organization?
Backing this, CPA Derek Nkaja, CEO of ICAPAO, noted the strong financial stewardship is the backbone of successful organizations, and at the heart of that is a competent CFO.
This organization that happens in C-suite makes the entity stall, makes the entity to delay. And we have, on our part, realized that the misalignment is usually between the
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Today we are at Lukman Primary School that's located in Kauku, Bwerenga, right by the lakeside. We have a happy customer who paid for her daughter's school fees. Nuru wanomuwanguzi era agenda kusoma guno mwaka gwonna. MTN Momo esasudde yo akolegwa akusoma.
Ngasasula bitundu nendeeta nensasulako nasigala nga babanja natuka okuwumula nga tannamalayo banankita bibadde byangu naye mwebale nnyo mwebalira mpulira nga essanyu limpitidde naye mpulira ate kati nga kaba bukaabi mu mutima mwebale nnyo mwebalira kula nga nze muwanguzi nakonde nnooku.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Life in Uganda today comes with so many uncertainties.
Where will Madam get Kameza if I get an accident and can't work? If anything happens to me, what will Junior eat?
Kale Musa is still in the hospital. Guy is missing a lot of money here.
With a monthly payment of only 3,000 shillings off your Equity personal account for Equi-Life Insurance, you will be entitled to 50,000 shillings hospital cash per night spent in a registered facility, up to 20 nights every year. And your family will receive 3 million shillings in case of your death. Visit your nearest Equity agent to sign up today or call 0312 327 000 for assistance.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotellaconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Africa is rising.
a continent rich in potential, powered by a new generation of visionaries. From cutting-edge technologies to transformative industries, Africa is shaping its own future. Bold, sustainable, and value-driven. Inspire Africa Group welcomes you to the first Africa Business Forum, which will be held at Africa Coffee Park under the theme Innovation, Industrialization and Value Addition on the 23rd of May 2025. The chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of Uganda, and His Excellency Dr. Samoei William Ruto, President of Kenya. Come, engage with the key policymakers, forge strategic partnerships, and unlock new markets. Join us as we reshape Africa's economic future.
Brought to you by
Welcome back from the break. And up next is Buza Commissioner, where we speak to the Commissioner of URA, who answers your queries and questions.
A gentleman called Joseph. Hello, Commissioner. I'm Joseph Owele, proprietor of Hojo Links Business School. I wish to know how I gain from withholding tax that they keep deducting from me for every supply I make, and yet I never get my tax certificate. What plans do you have to address this issue so that our clearance certificates are issued to us instantly, and how do I gain from it as a supplier? A very, very good question by Mr. Joseph Owele, the proprietor of Hojo Links Business Solutions. Now, withholding tax is income tax paid in advance. Withholding tax agents are gazetted by Uganda Revenue Authority to help collect this income tax in advance. Therefore, for every withholding tax that you pay on your supply, it will go towards clearing your income tax obligations at the end of the financial year. But this is how it works. When you make a supply and they withhold from you that 6%, the person who has withheld that money, our withholding tax agent, the one who you supplied, files a return to us showing the money he withheld from you and indicating your TIN. And the moment he files that return, he also goes in his profiles and generates that withholding tax certificate. Now, the moment he just clicks that option of generate withholding tax certificate, the moment he clicks that button, it will directly send your withholding tax payment certificate to your email. Now, should he not do it, you can follow up with this person you supplied. You say, I supplied you these items, you withheld my 6%, it is my credit for income tax. It will reduce my income tax obligation, but I've not seen my certificate. Many times, these people may forget to generate. They may even fail to make that return. So follow up with the person you supplied. They have a responsibility to file the return. So that's why we can't give it instantly as URA, because we won't receive that credit until the person who withheld files a return and makes that payment. Now, but should they delay, then you can tell us. You can come and say, URA, I supplied these items, it has taken so long, I don't have my certificate. Then we can help you in prompting the person you supplied, one, to check, did he actually return that money that he withheld? Two, did he remember to generate? Because it's those actions that will send you the certificate. But I thank you very much, Joseph Owele, for paying your withholding tax every time you make a supply, and be sure it will help you in reducing your income tax obligation at the end of the year, and it is your right to have that certificate, but follow up with the person who you supplied and who withheld that money. Thank you very much for the questions today.
Buza Kamisona.
All right, and now into business news. Dairy farmers across the country are being advised to provide food supplements for their animals during the upcoming dry season. Now, this move aims to ensure a consistent milk supply, which is vital for meeting the growing demand for processed dairy products.
In season, milk production during the dry spells drops by nearly half due to limited access to green pastures and water. This impacts the supply of milk, particularly in regions like the cattle dry corridor, where milk production is often significantly reduced.
So we really pray that it doesn't go to that extent, and we hope, like we have experienced some rains in some parts of the country in a few days back, maybe this rain will continue and we are not hit hard. Otherwise, then we will be hit hard and we have trouble.
This situation is concerning for processors who rely on a steady milk supply. A quality controller at Lakeside Dairies, Jonan Tumusime, says milk is their key raw material for producing a variety of products, including cheese, yogurt, and UHT milk.
They will check the resazoline, they will check the heat stability test, and others. But when they find that the milk is qualifying all those tests, or it is passing all those tests, it will be received. But when we find the milk is not passing those tests, we will not take the milk, because the quality will not be good for us. For other products like UHT milk, yogurt, cheese, which we make at Lakeside Dairy. Therefore, we encourage farmers to make sure they bring milk of good quality.
Statistics show that the Western region contributes about 46% of Uganda's total milk supply, but this figure drops drastically during dry spells.
And some, especially milking cows, because they are hit hard more. You know, a cow has produced milk, but also maintaining its body weight. So the dry season normally affects hard the heavy milking cows. Therefore, we also have to struggle to make sure that we keep the cows alive, but also get the milk.
Dairy farmers are urged to take proactive steps now by planting fodder during the rainy season to ensure a consistent milk supply through the dry season.
We encourage the farmers to do everything possible to supplement whichever they can find, the crop residues. Those of you who have silage already, please supplement. Those of you who have napier or elephant grass, cut and supplement. Make sure, first of all, the animals remain alive, but also they give you the milk.
Farmers, they should make sure they feed their animals very well, they give them enough water, and they make sure that the utensils which they use in milking, they should be clean.
So that Kaye and Ambrose Muhumuza, UBC News.
The Institute of Internal Auditors Uganda is set to host its 19th annual conference in Kampala and Munyonyo, drawing auditors, stakeholders and partners from across the country. Under the theme, Strengthening Institutional Value Through Internal Audit, the conference aims to advance professionalism, foster collaboration and emphasize global relevance in the internal audit field.
Conference will serve as a transformative platform to strengthen internal audit standards, promote knowledge sharing, and provide advanced training opportunities for practitioners.
But we'll be talking on matters of leadership. Governance have already talked about it. We'll be talking about innovation. If you look at innovation, internal auditors exist in these organizations, but some are high-tech. Every now and then, technology changes, and it is expected that internal auditors will have to audit some of these systems. So we have to present to our members matters of innovation, artificial intelligence, and things of the kind.
Ruth Doreen Motebe, Senior Vice President, Institute of Internal Auditors Uganda, highlights the professionalization of internal auditing in Uganda, with auditors now collaborating closely with boards and management to safeguard institutional value.
So what we do is to work with the leadership of organizations
to confirm that we have the right people in positions of leadership, and those people in the positions of leadership are taking the right decisions.
The 19th annual conference promises to be an essential event for strengthening the internal audit profession and ensuring its impact on good governance and institutional growth.
May is an internal audit awareness month, and as the Institute of Internal Auditors, we are cognizant that it is not only about the work that we do, but how do we give back to society. In the previous years, we have donated mattresses to our friends, families, and colleagues in Bududa. We have planted trees, and we have done a number of other things. This year, we want to touch life. And you'll agree with me that life is in the blood, right? So what we are going to be doing this year, we have partnered with the Uganda Blood Transfusion Services Limited. And during the annual conference, we will have a center where all internal auditors are going to be donating blood.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And into sports, Budo Secondary School have emerged champions of the 2025 USA Boys Under-20 Football Championship after a nail-biting 6-5 penalty shootout victory over fierce rivals St. Mary's Boarding School Chitende. The game attracted a mammoth of crowds in a tense final in Ngora District. Lauryn Masika has the details.
The 2025 secondary schools champions after defeating rivals St. Mary's Chitende. The nail-beating final was separated in penalty shootouts with each cautious not to error. Each team converted their first 5 penalties, but Chitende blinked first, missing their 6th kick. Budo capitalized, netting their decisive spot kick to clinch their 3rd national title, their first since 2018. This win marks a sweet revenge for Richard Malinga's side, who had lost 2-0 to Chitende in Wakiso Zone final earlier in the tournament. St. Mary's Chitende had advanced after Ginger Progressive Academy was disqualified due to crowd trouble and allegations of using ineligible players. As the winners lift the trophy high and commend each other for work well done, the curtains drop for entertaining 2025 schools games. Nabachibi Lauryn Masika, UBC News.
And that wraps it up here in UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for your company this evening. Do not forget to watch the biggest show in the land, Behind the Headlines with Timothy Nyangweso at 10 o'clock. From us, good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hey, Okero. Hey, Kajambo. Mukasa. Where are you going with the family? Eh?
Oh no.
Hey.
We are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register. And I need to make sure my name is on it. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections together.
What about these young men? I can see you.
These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote.
Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife so that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you on the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Tecno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Tecno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data, valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Tecno Camon 40 today at Tecno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Africa is rising. A continent rich in potential, powered by a new generation of visionaries. From cutting-edge technologies to transformative industries, Africa is shaping its own future. Bold, sustainable, and value-driven. Inspire Africa Group welcomes you to the first Africa Business Forum.